I wanted to do a quick video about Balkanization, or the breaking up of nations to make them into smaller, more homogeneous nations, which always sounds like a good idea unless, of course, it's the United States or another large superpower. Now, what's interesting, I don't know enough about Catalonian culture or Spanish culture to make an educated video about Spanish or Catalonian culture. It would take a lot of research for me to jam that into my brain and do a real video on that. But what I do want to talk about is these ideas of breaking up nations. This is one reason I absolutely despise neo-Confederate movements, because this idea that the South is better as the South and not as part of the United States is idiotic. One, I've seen how it's affected white nationalism. What you do is you're basically judging people instead of by a racial group. You're breaking it up further into North and South. And what the problem is with that is you're having people that should be working together fight each other. This is why I am pro-Pan-American, is because I believe all of the people in the Americas, and when I say Americans, I mean everybody from Greenland to Argentina, I consider an American. Not a citizen of the individual countries. That's a different story, but I'll get into that later. Now, the problem with Balkanization is that it works under the concept that every nation must be broken into homogeneous, either by culture or race or ethnicity, little tiny nations. Now, this is a bad idea because what it does is it breaks up the power of these nations to make them unable to defend themselves, unable to basically have a voice when it comes to economics or labor or anything like that, and it makes them slaves to the superpowers, or slaves to things like the EU, these idiotic agreements that destroy everyone. Now, a lot of people might not understand this, but the USSR, and people will say, oh, you're an anti-communist, how can you support the USSR? Let me explain this. The USSR breaking up was the worst possible thing that could happen to global security. The U.S. citizenry is a hell of a lot less safe without the USSR. And this is because after the USSR broke up, it allowed these homogeneous ethnicities, these Islamic extremist ethnicities, to have self-determined ideas. And these self-determined ideas have caused a lot of radicalism. A little conflict within a nation is a good thing. A little bit of constructive criticism helps people move forward. If the United States was monocratic or had only one party at its founding, we would never have gotten very far as a nation. We would have never had a constitution. We would never had Articles of Confederation, Bill of Rights, none of that. We probably would have just been another monarchy like the British monarchy, instead of a Roman-style republic with Anglo-Saxon common law and a rich legal system. And I really do believe that the U.S. legal system is the finest as far as justice, true justice for the citizen is concerned. But this is what people don't understand. They think that, and this is the problem with they think nationalists, they think that the more homogeneous and smaller the society is, the healthier it is and the stronger it is. But the problem is when you're outnumbered grossly and refuse to work with anybody that's different than you, whether it's different by race or ethnicity or religion or what have you, you are going to be a horribly ostracized minority. And that's what's going to happen if every large nation or moderately large nation or small nation breaks up into smaller nations. They lose their place at the table. And that's what the problem is. And that's all.